Butterfly, Chapter 3. I stare into the darkness. The slopes are illuminated by the silvery half-moon. I can no longer sleep knowing there are huge predators stalking through the brush. I feel uneasy. The welcoming trees and undergrowth can now hide a bloodthirsty beast. My family doesn't worry as much as they should. When I told Strike, she shrugged me off, much to my surprise. They're sleeping soundly now. I fear that if we're attacked, I'll be the precious survivor. I understand how frail we all are. I've always been the hunter. It's scary being hunted. There's a shifting behind me, and I see Mink walking over. She sits down next to me and curls the tail around her haunches.
You need to sleep, Ark.
Monarch. Ark. For a second, it doesn't register. Maybe I'm more sleep-deprived than I thought. I can't. I respond with as much gusto as I can. Mink goes quiet. She understands. She feels sorry for me. I don't like it. The trees are covered in snow, limbs hanging low and threatening to snap from the weight. Our breath creates clouds, as if we could breathe fire. I wish I could breathe fire. I would set some sticks ablaze to keep us warm through the night. My eyes drop to my paws, and I take a few shaky breaths.
If you're so worried about this, I'll take watch. You get some sleep. By your logic, you need to be on top of your game.
Mink insisted in her usual snarky way. My body flopped down onto the icy ground, my eyelids heavy like stones.
Stay down,
Mink harshly said before turning her gaze out into the fields. Even from here we could see the downy shapes of the sheep herd grazing leisurely in the valley. I curled my tail over my nose. Mink was right. If the dogs did attack, it couldn't be one windy day away from collapsing. I shut my eyes and let myself fall into an uneasy sleep. I awoke to the sound of paws scuffling the snow. I opened my eyes despite my body's best efforts to keep them closed. The sun was well up by now and shining on the snow, turning the ice into shiny crystals. My own orange fur had been covered up by the new snow that must have fallen last night.
How did you even get up there?
Mother's angry voice was all too familiar to my ears. I craned my neck over my back to see what the object of Strike's fury was. Strike, with her tail and scruff fluffed up, and Swift, with a look of pure awe and confusion, were gazing at the giant maple tree's highest branch, from which curious sparrows and crows normally watched their comings and goings. Today, though, the tiny brown birds were replaced with the worried-looking brown cat, Mud. My sleepiness forgotten immediately, and was replaced with fond confusion. My long strides carried me to the tree trunk quickly. The rest of the family was watching from the sidelines. River was whispering what was happening to Omen, whose eyes were going milky and sightless. Mink was hiding her face in Morpho's shoulder, then suddenly exploded in a loud guffaw of laughter at her brother's predicament.
Don't play!
Morpho gazed at his paws for a moment with a worried expression, and then turned over to Mink.
Oh my stars, I'm the responsible one.
Omen giggled at Morpho's comment, but held her tongue. The sound of a wild gush of wind was joined by a yelp from Mud as the branch he was on bobbed under his weight. Omen raised her muzzle to the sky and sniffed. We need to get him down. Storm's on the way. I squinted my eyes at the tree and the impossibly far away form of Mud.
Stupid.
Strike muttered under her breath.
I wanted to work on the fixing up that fox den.
Is that all you think about?
River hissed to a very annoyed Strike. I assume having one's only son stuck up a tree can cause some stress in a cat. The branches of the tree swirled and spiked like brown lightning. One or two stubborn brown leaves still hung grimly onto the branches. As I gazed at the ghost tree, an idea started to form. Last spring, I watched two fletchling owls try to fly by leaping from branch to branch before climbing back up to the knot in the tree where they started. Maybe Mud could do the same thing. Jump down to the next branch! I yelled as loud as I could. Mud looked from me, to the next close branch, and then up to me. He dared not move. Sink or swim, buddy! If you stay up there, a hawk's gonna get ya! I yelled louder and rather unkindly. Mud moved his paws beneath them, lashed his tail wildly as he started to lean forward, and then leaped from the branch. For a moment he seemed to almost fly, and then his chest slammed into the next branch. We all sucked in our breath at that sight. Mud took a moment to right himself and then continued his descent, without missing any more jumps from then on. Finally Mud, looking a bit worse for wear, landed safely onto the snowy ground. River rushed forward and nuzzled her son's cheek, muttering about how dangerous and foolish it was to climb that high and how happy she was that he was safe. Strike looked to the valley, over which black clouds, heavy with snow, slowly approached.
While we have time, I want everyone to help clean out that fox den we found.
It was Morpho who found the blasted thing, much to my disappointment. An abandoned fox den served as a better place to hide when the weather got bad compared to a dead bush. We went to work, dragging dry bedding in and the bones of the fox's long-gone meals out. Once Strike was happy with the state of the den, we bunkered down and waited.